What's up, everybody? Ben back here, Problems Talking Football. Well, week one's in the books of the 2016 season, and love it. There's always, the upsets and you don't know what to expect, the week one question marks, and I think a lot of teams have made their statements and answered a lot of questions as to expectations and what is to be viewed from the public and then playing football for the rest of the year. Some big statements were made. Arguably one of the best weekends in college football to open it up ever. So let's get into a little bit on some of the week one action that we saw. Alabama showing that they are just Alabama, just roll tide. I mean, there's no stopping this team. It just seems like whoever leaves, Heisman's, they have a gazillion draft picks go to the NFL, and it just doesn't matter, okay? And they just reload, and they're back, and, they destroyed USC. It wasn't even remotely close at all at any point in the game. And to go on primetime television like that, as USC supposed to be this team that's going to, bring the Trojans back to, where they were, their dominant stages, and it's not even close. You got embarrassed, bro, in a big way. The next one, Notre Dame falls. Now, is Texas that good, or is Notre Dame not that great? I watched the whole game. To me, Texas is huge improvement from last year, and Notre Dame just could not find a way to deal with it. They've got a freshman quarterback over there in Austin that is just something else. He's something serious. Big disappointment. I'm a huge Leonard Fournette fan. LSU looked awful. They looked bad. Wisconsin, yes, I think they might have been underestimated a little bit as to, how they were supposed to be this year. From watching that game, something needs to change. Harris, at quarterback, he hasn't matured at all. I mean, just making terrible mistakes, things that he shouldn't be doing. And when you don't have a passing game, it's not hard to stack 7, 8, 9 people in the box to stop the best tailback in college football. Is he the best tailback? Yes. Did he have a terrible game? I mean, yeah, because he can't beat a team by himself. LSU needs to figure it out. A couple bad offensive play calls. I'm not really sure why you would even throw the ball when you're within field goal range with Leonard Fournette. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, what kind of call was that? But, I mean, I guess it is what it is. Texas A&M, I called it. I knew that. I think that UCLA might have been a little bit overhyped than what they were, but hey, Texas A&M pulls it off. Georgia beat up on UNC, shows that Nick Chubb is back, he's healthy, and Georgia, they look good. They look good. I mean, they're not Alabama, and they're not going to beat the West, but it is what it is. Clemson, a win's a win, and I'm going to side with my ACC folks, but maybe it was just first game jitters. I don't know. Not looking overly impressed. Houston, the Cougars, just out there doing it. I mean, beating up on, Oklahoma, and it wasn't even close. I picked Oklahoma to win that game. No, I was way off. I also picked Ole Miss to beat Florida State, and besides for, second half, they were winning. Florida State looks like they are somebody to be reckoned with, a force, and besides Cook, that freshman quarterback Francois or whatever his name is serious. So Florida State is definitely something to watch. I know I picked Clemson to win the ACC this year. I think everybody on the planet picked Clemson to win the ACC. Florida State, they keep playing the way that they are. It could be real serious. So that's our week one wrap up. We'll get into a little bit on some of the Heisman contenders. I know a couple other people stood out this weekend, and then we'll get into week two. Okay, the big dogs on campus. We know who they are. There were no, the normal people that we thought were going to be there. They performed well, besides for Fournette. Cook had a great game. McCaffrey out there in Stanford had a huge game. They're definitely in the talk as being a Heisman this year. Deshaun Watson, he might not have played the greatest game ever, but he's still in the talk. Leonard Fournette, yes, he didn't play great. I'm throwing a new name out there, Lamar Jackson from Louisville. If anybody watched this guy play, 8 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive from a player. I don't even think he played the second half. Granted, yes, they played Charlotte High School or whoever the hell they played, but it is what it is. For a player to go out there and just dominate in the fashion that he did, that's big. He's got Florida State not this week. Next week they've got Florida State, so that's going to be a real test. We're going to really see how good he is and how good Louisville is, and if they are going to be a contender for the ACC. We'll throw one more out there. Mr. Barrett at Ohio State. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. I think that he has he's got the ability to do it. Their schedule, the Big Ten isn't the most powerful this year. With Michigan standing up with what they did over the weekend, I think they're coming very quickly to the top. But I think Ohio State and JT Barrett, I think that he's the real deal, and he's a dark horse. I think he threw 7. I think he was accountable for 7 touchdowns over the weekend. So let's not think that he's done altogether. So keep your eyes out. But that's your Heisman hopefuls for after week 1. Let's look at week 2. Week 2. This isn't going to be the most exciting week on the planet. Granted, my boys are playing out there in Bristol, but college football is college football. A lot of teams are taking a rest after that big opening weekend, so you can understand that you're not going to have another powerhouse schedule like you did in week 1. Week 2, there's some good stuff going on. We're going to see Louisville play a little bit harder of a competition Friday night. I'm going to be playing Syracuse. So we get to see Lamar Jackson again. He's going to be in the prime time this time on ESPN. So I'm interested. I'm ready to watch him. I want to see if Charlotte was just a fluke or if Lamar Jackson is that good. And if they beat up on Syracuse in a really dominant performance, Louisville is very much in the talk for upsetting a Clemson or a Florida State because they got to play both of them. Okay. We also have some rivalries this weekend. We got Penn State in Pittsburgh. A little in-state battle. Mr. Connor's back at tailback for Pittsburgh. Glad to see him back. He overcame cancer and he's back. So, we have that. For my picks, I'm taking Louisville up there in Syracuse Friday night. I'm going to take Pitt over Penn State. A lot of people might be over that. Another one I want to watch is the Wyoming-Nebraska game. I think Nebraska's favored a shit ton of points, and they're going to win. But I think Wyoming's going to cover the spread. I don't see them. They have like a 4 or 5 year tailback who was one of the leading rushers in the country last year. So keep that in mind. It's going to be something to watch. South Carolina, Mississippi State. Gamecocks coming off of I picked them to win last week. Coming off of a win against Vandy last week. They might not have been the prettiest thing on the planet, but it was prettier than Mississippi State. So the Bulldogs are looking to bounce back. Regardless, it's still an SEC game. It's a conference game. South Carolina's already up 1 in the conference. Mississippi State hasn't played one yet. So, South Carolina's going to need this. They do have a rough road ahead of them, and for them to get into the bowls this year, they're going to have to win some of these games. I'm going to take Mississippi State to win. I think they're going to bounce back after last week. Another rivalry, Iowa State. This one's not going to be close. I don't care, rivalry, whatever. Iowa's going to take this one dominantly. It ain't going to be close. Picking Iowa in this one. We also have Texas Tech and Arizona State. Some scoring teams there, some question marks. Texas Tech can put some points on the board. The boys they just throw the ball all over the field all the time. I'm taking the Red Raiders in this one. Kentucky and Florida. Now, Florida, they played UMass last week. It wasn't the greatest thing to watch. First game jitters, I think. I'm going to take Florida over Kentucky. Boston College and UMass. A little in-state game there. Boston College, played in Dublin last week. Low scoring game. Nobody looked like they were more dominant than the other. Should be interesting. I'm going to take UMass in the upset. And even if they don't win, they're definitely probably going to cover the spread. I don't think Boston College is that good at all, but, what do I know? Arkansas, TCU. TCU didn't look all that great, but neither did Arkansas. TCU still in the top 25. Go Horned Frogs, taking them all day. And last but not least, I'm going to take the BYU-Utah game. I'm going to run with the Utes on this one. I'm going with Utah. I think that they've got a lot more to prove. They've got some talent out there in Utah, and I think they're going to take BYU with the loss of their coach. They're kind of fumbling a little bit. So those are my picks for week 2. Everybody have a great college football weekend. Don't forget Battle of Bristol, the largest college football game, hopefully projected the largest college football game ever played. 8 o'clock, Tennessee, Virginia Tech. Go Hokies all day. And everybody have a great weekend. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. And you can follow me. My podcast is going to be coming out here real soon. So everybody be safe, and I'll see you back next week.